What did you hear today, and what facts did you see that you think that farmers should really know and integrate into their process of decision making?
Well, there's a lot out there right now with all the different factors, affecting agriculture, and so the squeeze for crop farmers was, kind of one of the big takeaways that, trade uncertainty isn't all that's going on, but it is an important component of all the different things that are happening, and that, we have input markets that are elevated and are likely to continue to stay that way. So farmers need to really look at their operation in detail and be able to work out where best to deploy their capital and how best to negotiate these challenging times. But it's not just the crop farmers that are out there. We have a lot of livestock producers as well, and for them the story wasn't quite as dire, but at the same time, you never know when those markets are going to have additional losses in terms of the trade partners, and so there's many different aspects to what's going on in agriculture, and I think those are just a few of the key ones.
Every 6 weeks, you get ready to prepare your report for the Beige Book and talk to all the commercial bankers in the district. What sort of intelligence are you getting from them that you're passing along to the folks in Washington?
Well, we talk to more than just bankers for our Beige Book. The Beige Book is looking at lots of different parts of the economy, and my portion really looks more at agriculture. But we're also talking to manufacturers and and service components of the economy as well. So the most recent data was indicating that there's been a slowdown in agriculture, but at the same time, you know, some of the stress indicators haven't reached levels as high as they were even 5 years ago. So it's one of those periods where it seems like the really strong years have helped to sustain through this down cycle so far, and now the anticipation is things are starting to turn a little bit the last couple quarters, and so it's a more challenging time heading into the winter, and we'll see how things proceed from there, I guess.
What are some of those bankers doing as far as helping farmers keep going? I know they certainly don't want to pull the plug on anybody, but they've got to, make some decisions on what can we do here to be creative to keep them going.
Yeah, it's a situation where a lot of farms have a big asset, which is their land, and then they have some tractors and things, and you hear a lot about farm sales for used equipment right now, that's been on the uptick, and the other part of it is if there's a acreage that isn't as productive or one that doesn't really fit your farm footprint, you might want to sell that in order to be able to shore up your bottom line. And so I think some bankers are helping in that way, helping farmers identify some of the changes that they can make that are going to help keep them going as a ongoing farm operation.
Farmers are focused right now on harvest. Then they're going to be focused on what am I going to do for fertilizer.
Yeah.
Then as they get into December, they're going to think about if I have an operating loan, how am I going to defend that and keep it going? What would you recommend to farmers who are facing a loan officer that may be scrutinizing them a little bit tougher?
Yeah, it can be a challenging situation for sure. I just would encourage them to make sure they have all the data they need at their fingertips, because the more you understand your own operation, the better you can answer the questions. And I think there's a lot of new tools out there that are available for farmers to really get a better grip on the situation of their farm at any given time. So that's something that maybe some of them would have to, take a look at to try to, find somebody to help them improve their understanding of their own financial situation.
Do you see some a negative trend or a stable trend going into the spring quarter?
Well, it seems a long ways away from now, but but farmers are already making decisions about when to put in their fertilizer and how best to proceed next year. So, um, I think it's somewhat stable right now. I think we got through some of the worst of the instability and the uncertainties, but time will tell.
One of the things you also do is look at land values, and you've seen some go up and some go down, and I think the last set of statistics I heard was kind of surprising, at least as far as the footprint for the Chicago Fed's territory. Any was that was some of that an anomaly, or was that a pretty good trend that might be continued?
Well, I don't know about it continuing really. The bankers in our survey for the ag letter were talking about that it's more, predominantly they were expecting farmland values to decline in the next quarter. So they were kind of stable over this year, it seems like, after some decrease last year. So but it varies, like you said, across, the district. Some parts are doing relatively better than others with some solar and wind kind of funding that is, maybe boosting the land values in certain areas where those are in demand. But at the same time, the lower quality ground, typically doesn't, increase and hold its value as well as the better quality ground does.
Okay.